While this may sound like a no-brainer to some, the vast majority of the market buy properties and sign SPAs without reading. I think it's critical to read the SPA, and I think it's one of the best investments when buying a property is to spend a few $1,000s or a few thousand dirhams, depending on the complexity of the SPA, and hand it over to a lawyer and ask a lawyer opinion on all the clauses of the SPA. So a good real estate lawyer will always be able to advise you on the legal aspect of the SPA, but you make sure that you're satisfied with every single commercial term stated on the SPA. So I'll give you an example. Many people bought properties in Dubai, and where 50% of the purchase price, or even more than 50%, is due on handover. So in the marketing pitch, you'll always see pay 10% now or 20% now and X amount on handover. But basically, what's the definition of handover? When you go to the SPA, you see that all SPA says the definition of handover is when the developer gets the BCC, which is Building Completion Certificate, and that sometimes could be 3 months or 4 months away from taking the handover. But of course, this is not the entire market. Again, it's special cases, and it can get as worse as 3 or 4 months. But in normal cases, from the time a developer gets a BCC, it could take a month or two, depending also on the size of the project. So when you have a project with 500 units, don't expect the developer to hand over 500 units in 1 month or in 10 days. And it depends when your turn is. So just make sure that if you're buying a property, manage your own expectations by reading the contract and understanding the commercial terms. So if they say it's on handover, well, is it on key handover or it's on BCC when the project, because BCC is a certificate that comes from Dubai municipality, and it's when the project is deemed as ready to be handed over. However, sometimes the BCC comes with minor comments from the municipality, and they give the developer a deadline, a certain time frame to fix and rectify these defaults. And that normally happens, depending on the nature of the default or the defect, that normally happens before they call people to come and take handover of the property. So I think it's a very important aspect for all of us to pay attention to.